Dude, can we talk about the fact that that is one of the best theme songs in any show ever?
No doubt. It just has like the best soundtrack too.
The soundtrack is phenomenal, and like they did that on real synthesizers, and like I'm obsessed with that sound. I'm obsessed with that theme song.
Yeah, for sure.
What show are we talking about?
I thought we were talking about Supernatural from last night.
Yeah, that explains why I'm dressed like this.
Yeah, like Hopper.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, dude. When season 1 of Stranger Things came out, obviously it was a worldwide phenomenon. Like everybody knows instantly. Yeah, everybody knows what Stranger Things is.
I remember where I was.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
I was in my bedroom.
Yeah,
watching it on Netflix. But
yeah.
I remember watching season 1, and that was the first time I had ever seen a modern 80s period piece that was like true to the culture, and I was like, oh my god, this is so sick.
For sure.
In season 1, every single track except for one, they commissioned Florence from Florence and the Machine to sing one song. I remember like when that came out, all the songs were real 80s songs. I was like, yo, this is super cool. Do you remember that? Like,
absolutely.
The feeling of watching that for the first time?
It's very immersive. It's very like true to the 70s.
Yeah, it's like a period piece.
Yeah, I think first season was like supposed to be in 78 or
84.
Oh, no, I think it's currently in 84.
No, it's in 86 now.
Oh, I'm all
It was 84 because they had the Reagan, I think it was Reagan Bush.
Got you.
84 stickers everywhere. And,
got you.
Yeah.
I for some reason I thought it had started in like 79 or something.
No, and I think in the even though it's 4 seasons, and in real life it's been like 7 years. It's only been like 2 years between the whole.
That was another thing. It's been kind of hard to follow like the time frame or whatever, like from when the first one started to when it currently is. But I will say this, y'all know I am a wimp when it comes to scary stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I remember it so vividly. I had just moved into my sister's house, and it was the first night that I had moved in. Upstairs, I had the whole upstairs myself, and Casey had just helped me move everything, and then we just got done and we were like, oh, let's watch some TV. I think it was like the day after Stranger Things came out or something like that.
Yeah.
And we put it on, and the first scene is literally a jump scare where the dude like busts the door open and is running down the hallway.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh, at the lab, right?
Yes.
I haven't seen season 1 in a long time.
I was like, this is scary. I don't know if I can do this. And it continued to be scary, but the story is so compelling and original and immersive, and obviously like, I got used to it, and now I don't really see it as scary at all. Like, even though season 4 is probably the darkest, scariest season.
Oh, hands down.
I'm
it's straight up horror.
Yeah, I'm so sucked into the world, and like that I don't even the horror stuff and the gore and all that stuff, it doesn't even faze me anymore. I'm here for the story. Alex, you ever seen Stranger Things?
I have seen Stranger
Things. You
have? Yeah.
You've seen
every season except for this most current one.
Oh my God.
I'm just so excited for this to be spoiled.
Oh no.
It's okay. We talked about it. He's cool with it.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I mean, I got no choice now. I'm here.
Oh, yeah. That sucks.
Dude, he's not even going to know what we're talking about most of the time anyway. It's so like,
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about any of the time anyway.
Yeah.
So it's on brand.
Ever.
Yeah.
So you like the show?
I do like the show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Season 4 is over the top, man. So, like, I remember viewing season 1 and feeling like, wow, this is really something special.
Yeah.
And then season 2 came out, and I was like, this is pretty good. Like, obviously, season 1 was better. It was more iconic. But season 2, it was like, this is pretty dope.
Season 2 is probably the one that I remember the least.
Yeah, me too. The Mind Flayer.
Yeah. Was season 2 and 3 the Mind Flayer?
Yeah, well, it's all the Mind Flayer now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But season 2, they did that whole thing with, like, Eleven's sister, and, like, they did that whole weird, like...
It had filler.
Yeah, it was, like, the weird, like, Greaser 11 storyline. It was whack, and I love how they completely retconned that, and, like, it's not even a part of the show anymore. But yeah, I'd say, for me, season 2 was probably the least memorable.
Well, wasn't that Billy?
Season 3 was Billy.
That's
season
Max's
3.
brother.
Yeah,
okay.
Season 3 was Billy.
Brother. And obviously, by the way, if you haven't seen Stranger Things season 4, go ahead and turn this off because we're gonna be we're gonna be slicing it up. So
I'd say
don't be me right now.
Yeah. You're screwed, Alex.
Well, can I tell you why I like it?
Yes, I would love.
Because I think it's real.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you know what Stranger Things is actually based on?
MK Ultra,
Kind of.
yeah.
It's based on the Montauk Project.
Tell me, nope.
Okay, so this was supposedly, I don't know, and Alex, please, fill in with, internet data or whatever. I try not to dive too deep into alien conspiracies, considering that, my family is one, But, it's true.
Yeah, it's
I'm
fact.
just saying,
Yeah,
I try not to cloud my mind with all the other shit out there. It could be propaganda, it could be fake, whatever, but it's still fascinating. Stranger Things is actually based on the Montauk Project, which was supposedly a real... Montauk's in New York, right?
So is that a thing that happened in the 80s?
I don't know when it happened.
When did it happen, Alex? The Montauk Project. So anyway, go ahead.
Montauk's in New York, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the premise behind the real, the theory behind the real Montauk Project, is that the United States government had some black ops type shit where they had a bunch of kids or just people in general, and they had this technology that they claimed was extraterrestrial or whatever, I don't know. And they claimed that the technology was kind of like Project Looking Glass, where through using it you could view other dimensions or kind of like open portals between dimensions. And the claim from the Montauk Project is that, these monstrous type entities were coming through, and I don't even necessarily believe that kind of shit's real, but it's just cool that
Wait. So the Montauk Project, they actually talked about monsters and stuff?
Yeah, so what happened is there was someone who supposedly survived it and came public with a book detailing her experience, and Stranger Things is directly a rip from a real
right, so
claimed experience.
Those stories started circulating in the 80s, which would explain
okay.
the period piece.
Yeah.
Basically psychological warfare. That was kind of the purpose of the project.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
what time frame was the Men Who Stare at Goats thing? What
I want to say that could have been the 90s.
What was the name of the actual project?
Project Stargate.
Stargate. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the year. I know the real people. I've never thought to ask them that.
Yeah.
I've never cared to know the year.
1978.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So we're right around the same time frame.
Okay, yeah. Now I know Project Stargate was real. My dad's kind of low key been involved with that off the record.
Yeah.
But the Montauk is super interesting. I just I don't necessarily put any stock into it, but it's fascinating. You know?
I think all this psychological. It seems like in the late 70s, early 80s, they were trying to figure out some next level, warfare technique. Yeah, for sure. Like all the cloud bursting stuff they were doing, and the y'all got to look up Project Stargate or just watch the Men Who Stare at Goats movie. It's amazing. And Alex, you seen that?
Have you seen that movie?
I don't think I have.
Dude, you'd probably enjoy that one.
I think you would.
The thing about Project Stargate, though, and I'm saying this literally as a second-hand source to the guy that the film is fucking based on.
Yeah.
And he told us, the real story, the real experience was not comical. It was a military operation. But then when a real book was written, I think the guy's name was Ron Johnson, the author, wrote the book. It got picked up, turned into a movie. Whoever made the movie made it a comedy. They just put a spin on it. It's kooky, and I suspect that these big studios do that kind of shit by the direction of, either the military or the elite or the CIA or whoever to make it not so believable, to make it campy, make it seem like it could be fiction, but it was a very real thing.
Yeah.
The whole remote viewing Project Stargate and Who Stare at Goats, very real.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody involved with the Montauk. But dude, Stranger Things, how they had the little kids and they were developing their psychic powers. That's what they claim really happened at the Montauk Project.
Wow. But I had no idea.
But they claim it was through technology called Project Looking Glass, which was this device that supposedly, from American Cosmic, the artifact type shit, the metals, my dad gets his hand on.
Oh, yeah.
They claim it was because of that.
Wow.
That they had some sort of anomalous metal, and it was allowing them to interface with it and see different realities, see the future, see different timelines, and I don't know. It's super fascinating.
See, the coolest part about that, the thing that fascinates me the most about that right there is like we have documented, and sure, could be bogus, could not be bogus,
Yeah, it
whatever.
could be, could not be.
But it's documented, it's in history. You can look it up. These projects were real things that these people worked on. And so as crazy and like out there as Stranger Things gets, the thought is always in the back of my head, like
it's based on something that may have happened.
What if something approximating this happened? Like I don't know that like a Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer and obviously all
that's
that.
D&D.
That's literally
Flayer.
it's all
Dungeons
D&D
and
stuff.
Dragons.
But like, dude, what if? And I mean, if the Montauk Project talked about monsters, like what?
They claimed that there were some entities that had come through the
Bruh.
portals that they were opening, which is the plot of Stranger Things.
It's literally the plot.
Yeah,
of Stranger
and
Things.
from what I heard a podcast about it a few years ago. From what I remember, the person, the lady who had written about her accounts and came forward with it was furious, like about Stranger Things. I believe she was wanting to sue. I could be making that up. I don't remember, but yeah, it's just crazy. And I don't know enough off the top of my head to dive like into the Montauk Project at length. That's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk Stranger Things.
Yes.
But super cool that it's actually based on something real.
Most
people don't know that.
I didn't know that. That makes it so much cooler. I mean, the
Duffer Brothers aren't open about that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've always been functioning on the assumption that it's heavily based on like MK Ultra, and it was
that goes in hand with it though.
Exactly.
In real life.
And it was obvious that there was some militarization of psychic abilities that they were drawing from in real history.
Which is real.
Yeah.
I can attest to that 100%. I have lived that.
There's a whole the Monroe Institute is literally like dedicated to psychic abilities. Like like it's a real thing that
And my family has been I can't go too much into detail about that, but my family has been studied by factions. Here's why I'm so drawn to Stranger Things, because I am a living example of different elements of the Department of Defense, one trying to snuff out my family and one trying to bolster us and get us to get their message out there and our story out there. And it's crazy. Like, I'm watching Stranger Things, and obviously it's way over the top, fucking hyperbolic fiction, but elements of it I have literally lived, so it's super cool. So I wanted to go into a lot of the like psychic shit.
That's the coolest part of the show.
Yeah.
And just to put this, you got something?
I got a lot.
Oh,
okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, well, first I want to take
Alex
you down a
is
little.
talking this episode?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Damn!
Buckle up.
We're in for a treat today, y'all.
Day today.
Okay, well, I want to take you down a little hole real quick.
A rabbit hole?
All right. Yeah, a little rabbit hole. Project Artichoke, also known as Project Bluebird.
Shout out Artichokes.
Yep, shout out Artichokes, which was a CIA project to determine whether a person could be involuntarily made to perform an act of attempted assassination. This is all going on around the 50s.
Wait a minute.
Which this was the precursor to MK Ultra.
Yeah, and
that was in the 60s.
and what's his name? The murderer, the guy, what's the guy?
The serial killer?
He had the cult. No, he had the cult. How am I forgetting his name?
Describe it.
Helter Skelter. Like
Manson?
Yeah, Manson.
Oh, shit,
Manson is literally MK Ultra. He's like He's like a patient zero for MK Ultra, basically.
Right.
And they did that to him.
So Project Artichoke led to MK Ultra, which began in 53, which MK Ultra allegedly stopped in 78, and then the Montauk Project picks up. So it's kind of like you can kind of see
they're
lineage. Taking what goes wrong and maybe getting rid of that, maybe adapting it, but then taking what goes right. And like, because then, it makes sense to me, like, if it's not working on adults, who has more feeble minds than adults?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Like, think about that.
You take children that are in the learning phase of life that like are so easily molded, if you will, to try and turn them into like elite warriors,
psychic spies.
Yeah.
Well, if you follow the thread of these like psychic abilities in general, we've talked about psychic stuff on this show a good bit.
Oh yeah.
And like it is. Would you agree that it seems to be very attached to your emotional state and your mental state? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
If you're having emotional and or mental blocks, it will in some way affect those psychic abilities. And little spoiler alert for season 4, there's going to be tons of spoilers.
Yeah,
but
we're going to talk about the whole show.
You basically find out that they kidnap these kids and traumatize them into having psychic abilities.
Which is, by the way,
which sounds like what you're talking about.
and that's how MK Ultra operated. It was through trauma. It was through traumatizing people to fracture their mind and kind of like artificially induce some sort of schizophrenic, mental, psychotic break, so that they could train new personalities and hide them deep in their subconscious.
Wipe the slate to rebuild.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's alchemy, by the way.
Well.
Negrito.
Then in 2018, I was looking at them getting sued. So the co-creators of Stranger Things got sued, or they took it to court in 18 by this guy who met them at a party, pitched him his idea, which was basically a show about the Montauk Project.
Okay, so
then these co-creators go off, and he said that the Montauk Project was used as a working title for Stranger Things before they ended up on.
See, I thought I wasn't making it up. I remembered something like that, but
they've been sued a lot. I had to kind of dig for that one. So
damn.
You know what? I'm glad it turned out exactly the way it did. If it was just about the Montauk Project, it would have been any other little
it'd be lame.
Conspiracy
the
show,
fact that one of the coolest things about Stranger Things is the fact that they worked in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that's because, what, in the 80s.
And
in the culture.
Dungeons and Dragons is extremely mystical. It is like the highest fantasy, the highest mystical, magical, alchemical. Like there's tons of things drawn from ancient religions and esoteric religions and like occult practices. That's all up in.
Yo, we should do a D&D episode.
Yeah, we should.
We've never even considered that.
We should also do a D&D campaign sometime.
Oh, no doubt.
And put it on the internet for people to see.
Yeah,
that would be.
I've never played, but I'm in.
It's so
dude.
fun, man.
You'd be fun to play D&D with.
Probably. I'm fun to do anything with.
Anything.
No, my favorite part about Stranger Things is the walkie-talkies.
Yeah,
I'm not lying.
That would be your favorite.
Well, season four, there's a lot of walkie-talkie action.
Cool. I have to check
because they're all like in different places. You know how Game of Thrones has like 5 or 6 storylines going on at the same time. Season 4 has that energy.
Oh, cool.
It's much bigger than the first 3 seasons. It's got so many different. And they're all on walkie-talkies.
It's arguably too big. Like I
liked it.
I was pretty exhausted by the end of season 4. Like it's basically 9 movies. Like they're all like an hour and a half. The last episode's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
Like, and it just seems like there's a lot that could be cut out. But that doesn't take away from how awesome it was. It was truly awesome.
I loved every second of it.
The storytelling is completely incredible. So yeah, do you want to talk mostly season 4 in this, or do you want to kind of like start from the beginning and go?
Well, I mean, I didn't want to like go into the little plot points necessarily. What really gripped me about season 4, if I'll just jump into it like this.
Yeah.
What I got from that was the Duffer Brothers, when they made this season, I don't know if it came from the top, I don't know if it came from their mind, whatever. Season 4 was the one when they're like, you know what? We're going to reveal some real psychic shit. Half of the season, Alex, without going into like crazy detail, half of the season was literally about 11 through some form of ritual. You could look at it as a ritual. It wasn't like magic. It wasn't like they were saying this is a ritual, but through some sort of...
It was a ritual.
It was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, this is a ritual.
Right.
They didn't
it was
talk
cloaked,
like that. It was a very like Hollywood style, ritualistically taking 11, inducing her into an altered state of consciousness, which, by the way, at any time she was in this altered state, in this deprivation take, by the way, death and rebirth, submerged in water, like baptism, every ancient religion.
That's the one thing that I wanted to talk about the most is like the death and resurrection
of 11. That's what this season was.
It literally, this season, like...
It was a transformation.
It depicts... Like 11, like becomes the Christ figure.
Yeah, literally,
100%.
Literally,
like so they had this. They they take 11. They bring her into this facility where because she loses her powers after
season 3.
Season 3
at the end, she loses.
So
her powers.
I don't remember the end.
Oh yeah, so the end is
of 3.
Of 3. The end of 3. They defeat the Mind Flayer, but in the process, 11 like worked her powers too hard and she lost.
Wait, weren't they like in the lab and like they sealed the thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
during
and-
that process, didn't she like collapse in Hopper's arms? Am I making that up?
Yeah. No.
Hopper
Hopper disappeared through a portal.
Through a portal
Oh.
at the
Because in season 4 he's he's alive. It's in the trailers and shit. But
Yeah.
in season 4 he's in Russia. He went through.
He's a
portal.
prisoner. He's a prisoner.
He's
in
in
Russia.
like basically a gulag. That is
straight
brutal,
up.
by the way.
Oh,
I
cool.
loved the
Wait,
Hopper
but so
storyline.
you could
The
you could
gulag.
look at 11 losing her powers as her like dying. Like she dies
symbolically.
Yeah, and then so she's brought into this facility in season 4, deep underground. It's this top secret project, and they have this massive suspended deprivation tank, like this sealed huge deprivation tank that they put her into, and they put her into like a trance essentially.
They sedate her.
Where she goes unconscious, and she basically like lives through her memories. And it is literally like working through her trauma. She literally works through her trauma because sorry, Alex, this is all getting spoiled.
Also, by the way, just to add to that, you notice at any given time during this ritualistic, I say quotes, ritualistic process, she's wearing white.
Yeah,
which
always.
In occult symbology,
you wear white when you get baptized.
Right, it's like ritual purity. Cleansed.
So they work through, because at the beginning of the season, you see this like flashback of 11, like when she's young and she's covered in blood and everybody's dead, and the assumption is 11 killed everybody. Yeah. And she's been living with that trauma ever since.
Oh, bro, not to mention, remember, she also slips and has these like flashbacks, and she gets ultra violent, like almost like a sociopath,
right?
Like a killer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it'll make sense.
So through this deprivation tank process, she is slowly recounting the things that actually happened, and she's realizing it wasn't her fault. She didn't do anything wrong, and she's quite literally like healing her trauma through this deprivation tank process. And when she comes out, not only does she have her powers back, she's like way stronger.
Yeah,
like,
way more powerful.
Way stronger. And the way that I looked at that was all the other kids, they were traumatized into having powers, right?
Yeah.
Let's liken that to Star Wars.
That's what I was about to say. They were like Jedi.
And the dark side. Look, we can't go an episode without talking about Star Wars.
Hey, we're playing BSS Bingo, by the way.
Yeah. Mark it off. Take a shot.
No, you don't have to pull it.
They all got. So let's liken it to Star Wars. What does Yoda say about the dark side of the Force? It's quicker, it's easier, it's more seductive. Quicker, easier, more seductive. So they quite literally took a fast track to getting these kids powers by traumatizing them. It's quicker, it's easier, and why wouldn't they do it that way? But the light side of the Force will always be stronger than the dark side of the Force, because it does not come from trauma. It doesn't come from quicker, easier, more seductive. It comes through actualization. It comes through like becoming Zen, reaching like a peace.
Like a state of enlightenment.
Yeah, enlightenment. Yeah, it comes from that. So 11 now is the only one of these kids who has gained her power the right way, quote unquote, like the light way. And now she comes out and is reborn stronger than everybody else. That is so mystical.
Yeah, well, it even goes deeper than that. Like, the thing that stuck out to me the most, I would keep pausing it and showing Jenny, and it used to be before we would do the show, I would show Jenny this stuff, and it never really clicked in her head. And now I show her this, and she's like, "Oh wow, yeah, you're right. That's a 5-pointed star. That's this or that." And like every time 11 was in this process where they were going into her mind, they had the TV screens above her, but in a cinematic way, this was very subtle. But at any given time, the light of the TV screens that were playing VHS tapes of her memories, because, she was in a government facility, so they had recorded every bit of it, and they somehow, through their advanced technology, they don't really describe it, but I mean, it's fantasy, they portrayed those memories into her mind, so she was living them in the psychic realm. Super cool. But at any given time, when they were playing these memories, there were 5 and sometimes 6 TV screens reflecting on the water in the shape of a star. And remember, the true esoteric meaning of the 5-pointed star or the pentacle is, if you have an out-of-the-box mind and you understand that geometry, in the 2D plane are like us viewing into the 2D realm and seeing mathematical expressions of the mind of God. They have real energetic properties. The 5-pointed star, as talked about by the Greeks and the Egyptians, was all about when it's pointing up, when you have the 1 point up and the 2 points down, it's the consciousness ascending higher towards source eternally. The math of a 5-pointed star, if you break down the lines and the segments, you calculate the differences between them, lengths and distances and stuff like that, it always equates to the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio. It's the perfect math for an infinite spiral.
Yeah.
It represents infinity. If you always see these superheroes, like, not superheroes, but like anime characters or different pop culture, they always have a 5-pointed star. Fucking Steven Universe.
Or a spiral.
Yeah. Steven Universe, 5-pointed star. All these characters, they're telling you it's about consciousness ascending higher and higher towards source, the ultimate reality. And it's just crazy that they showed that. And it was also at some points the camera would rotate and show the star spinning clockwise while 11 was going through this. It's like subtle ritual symbology of the symbolic death and rebirth of 11 into higher consciousness.
Now that you mention it, there were a ton of spiral shots in that season. Like more, it was like obvious.
Someone had spiral earrings. I believe it was the girl that Robin had a crush on. I could be confusing.
Oh, right.
Someone straight up had spiral earrings or some sort of spiral directly on their shirt.
Yeah.
And it's just insane. And then remember what you were talking about the other day, the Rosicrucian cross?
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so the just to give a little detail, sorry Alex. the main antagonist of season 4, they call him Vecna, which is another like deity from D&D. He was like this dark wizard who like did all sorts of dark magic and chaos magic and whatever. Anyway, in the show, Vecna's whole goal is to he figures out that if he murders people in a certain sequence or a certain way, 4 people, he needs to kill 4 people, he will completely open a rift between Hawkins and the Upside Down, like literally like a crack in the ground, and there's no separation between the two kind of thing.
The Upside Down in the real world
become one.
It's like basically you could look at it out of the box as like opening a portal from hell.
Yeah, straight up.
And that's not a crazy stretch, because season 4, another brilliant thing about season 4 that was in none of the previous 3 seasons, was there was an entire plot line about church and Christianity in a way about saying that like it's demonic, it's the Satanic Panic. Season 4 was really heavily involved with the Satanic Panic, which was real in the 80s.
That's
super cool.
Yeah, that's when it started coming about, was around like 85, 86.
Yeah, it was Dungeons and Dragons, Ozzy Osbourne, all the metal music at the time.
And they talked about all of that in season 4. I mean, like Eddie's character, one of the best characters in the season, like
in the show.
Seriously, he was so awesome. He's the DM of the Hellfire Club, which is their D&D group, and it's
some people might not know what DM means. If you want to explain that.
Oh yeah, so the DM is the Dungeon Master.
Direct message.
It's called either a DM or a GM, Game Master or Dungeon Master, and their job is essentially like they don't have a character in the game itself. They kind of guide the players along their journey, and like the DM or GM will play the role of the antagonists or some of the non-playable characters, the bosses. They'll make because it's all based on dice rolls. So the DM, GM will make the rolls for things going against the players.
Honestly, dude, the best way to describe it is say just watch Eddie in season 4, because he actually plays the role of DM. Yeah, as well as the kids in season 1. That didn't occur to me. You can see what it is, but
Will was the DM?
I don't remember season
Will
1.
the Wise.
I think that's
Will
correct.
the Wise.
Yeah,
I think he was the DM.
So.
Yeah,
it was either him or Mike, but I don't remember.
I can't remember either. I think it was Mike.
It might have been.
Because Will was supposed to use the fireball.
He was the wizard,
Yeah, in the very first season, he was supposed to cast a fireball spell, and then it failed in the first episode, and then symbolically, it was showing that he failed and he was captured,
So I think it was
another great thing about the show, how the plot is driven by like esoteric Dungeons and Dragons lore.
And Dungeons and Dragons, cool. Very occult. Yeah. But yeah, in the 80s there was all this. It was literally called Satanic Panic, because that was the rise of metal music, Slayer, Metallica. That was when Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off of bats and shit. Like, that was that was happening all around the same time as D&D, which is like, there's demons, there's devils, there's all sorts of dark shit in D&D.
There's also gods and, yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole premise of D&D is that you're playing as heroes to defeat the evil.
Right, yeah, but back in the 80s, you have your kid role-playing some game that has magic and shit, parents were freaking out.
Well, yeah, there's demons, there's pentagrams, there's all that evil shit. But I mean, it's there so that the players, at least this was in the 80s, Dungeons and Dragons has become much more complex now, and it can kind of be anything you want it to be.
Right.
But when it started out, it was mostly one-shot campaigns that were 4 to 8 hours long, and it was just like you'd play it, you'd defeat the bad guy, you level up, and then they're kind of like separated storylines or whatever. But anyway, so that was all happening at the same time. The point used to be you're playing as heroes defeating the evil. That was the whole point. You're fighting evil dragons and evil wizards and
goblins.
It's like you're playing a light-sided character for the most part. But parents didn't look at it like that. It's the same thing that happened with the Pokemon.
In the 90s.
I mean? And I think we've talked about that. But like when Pokemon was becoming popular in America in the early 90s, like everybody watched it. It was
everybody in our age group, everybody checked out Pokemon.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing happening in the world.
It literally swept the entire world by storm
with the games and the show and the cards, the
merchandise.
So naturally, I'm very young at the time. Naturally, me and my brother and sister, we all got hype on Pokemon. We all got into Pokemon. And, we would wake up every morning at 6 a.m. to watch the Pikachu show. That's what I called it when I was little, the Pikachu show. And soon after we got into it, like, I think we literally bought like a couple packs of cards. And then like soon after, because this is sweeping the whole country, there started this thing in the Bible Belt on the East Coast where all these pastors started speaking out against Pokemon, and it's evil, and your kids are carrying around Pokemon monsters in their pockets, and this is made
pocket demons. That's what my pastor said.
Pocket demons, pocket monsters. It's like, this stands for pocket monsters. Do you want your kids walking around with demons in their pockets? It's like, bruh. It's like, do you even know what this show's about? This show's about kids that have little fucking
pets,
little digital creatures in balls. Like
they're just little pets. They're friendly little pets that like might
battle each other.
Yeah, they battle each other and they faint and they pass out and then they all like laugh afterwards.
But I think that there's a thing, and I want to be careful saying this, but I think there's a thing in really all organized religion where like you take what your pastor says as gospel.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take what your pastor says as gospel, and that must be the word straight from the Lord. So you listen to your pastor. And I personally disagree with that. I'm not, because at the end of the day, any pastor is still a man. It's still a person, and they are giving you their interpretation of what they believe the religion should be following, yada, 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 whatever. But like, it ain't say nowhere in the Bible you can't play Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't say that anywhere.
Somewhere in the Old Testament, it does talk a little bit about like don't do any sorcery or necromancy or divination or whatever. But
yeah,
like,
all those necromantic Pokemon. All those Pokemon that are raising corpses.
It's Cubone.
Oh,
he wears the bones of his mother.
He has a skull on his head. Oh,
Ghastly, they're spirits.
Oh, dude, I don't know if I want to call whatever. Who cares? When Leah and Jonah were younger and they were growing up, this was years ago. They started getting into Pokemon, and my dad told them like, all right, fine, you can play Pokemon, but you can't use any of the psychic Pokemon. Like, dude, what? Okay.
That's funny,
I have to finish the story, and I've told this story. Sorry for those of you that have heard it, but anyway, we got super into Pokemon. That thing swept the nation, and my parents were like, "Hey, you can't do Pokemon anymore. That's not you can't do that." And we were crushed. I cried about it, whatever. And they gave me the whole spiel secondhand of what the pastor said, and I was like, well, maybe, it's just a little bit bad or whatever. It's just like, it's not bad. It's maybe just little pieces of it were bad. And so then the next day when I came home from school, my dad had brownies, and he was like, here's some brownies, but there's just a little bit of shit in them. That was his lesson. That was his analogy that he chose to use, and I was just like,
you told that on the Hell episode.
Yeah.
Episode 19, I believe.
So how were the brownies?
They were fucking great. They were great.
I was gonna say maybe they were shitty, but
they did not taste like shit. Obviously, he didn't do it, but he made me rip up my Gen 1 Squirtle. And
I feel like genuinely, as much as we've talked about this as friends in our adult lives, I feel like that might be one of your most traumatic moments.
It was.
It had to be.
It undoubtedly was.
I mean,
dude, how about
a little
this?
kid is so innocent though. Like that kind of stuff really is traumatic for a young child who doesn't know anything else.
No, I was probably 5 or 6.
Yeah,
and it's so ingrained in my memory that I even remember buying the pack of cards. Where I got it from, I got the cards from a gas station. They were selling them in gas stations at the time. And I remember taking it home, opening it. Squirtle was my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, mine was Charmander.
And I was like so stoked. He made me rip it up and I was pissed. But anyway, that's all just an analogy for like what the Satanic Panic was like. Hey, little cutie little Charmander.
I got Charmander. He's going to sit with us for the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Look, Alex.
He's a dragon. Well, technically he's not a dragon, and a lot of people are pissed about that. But anyway,
yeah, they can fuck off.
Yeah,
they can just shut the fuck up.
It's
Charmander.
He's a fire flying
cute.
type.
Who cares? He's a dragon.
Yeah.
Who cares?
The truth is that Charizard was a Gen 1 Pokemon, and dragon type wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
At the time, so they just never decided to change it. But yet there are like palm tree Pokemon that are considered dragons.
Yeah, it's stupid semantics from a mechanic in a video game.
He's a dragon.
Yeah, he looks like a literal dragon.
He's a dragon.
He's fully evolved. Yeah,
you're like the father of dragons.
People
dude.
are dumb. Get out of here.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I mean,
my fave was always Dark Charmeleon. I had that card. I had that card.
Nice.
So yeah, okay. Satanic Panic swept the nation.
That's what I was gonna say about season 4 too.
Yeah.
I truly appreciated how it was like meshed with the plot in a very big and relevant and profound way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into the name of the character because, quite frankly, I can't even remember his name, and nobody liked him. He was like a huge antagonist.
Jock.
Yes, the jock.
Fuck that guy.
But yeah, seriously, and like the you have to understand, Alex. Again, without going into too crazy of detail, what happens is the whole town starts noticing paranormal, freaky activity from the upside down.
Quote unquote satanic.
But but it's woven into the plot that the town goes into a hysteria, believing it's satanic, like black magic practices.
Hawkins they come to believe that all of the shit that's been happening in Hawkins is because
of
these kids are playing D&D.
Yeah,
they literally believe.
But they don't know it's D&D. They think it's an actual satanic cult, and that's a part of the plot now. It's super cool.
I love that they did that.
Yeah, they wove in the like mass hysteria of the ignorant population of 99% of people who are like enslaved by mainstream religion.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. I'm talking about the majority of the world.
So let's get back to the thing with Vecna that we were talking about.
Yeah.
So this was possibly like I was doing the same thing watching this season, pausing and being like, Casey, look at this.
You see that?
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this one blew my mind probably the most of everything. And there was
It blew my mind when you said it because it went over my head, believe it or not.
That was the most obvious to me. It wasn't until I saw this that I'm about to explain that I connected the death and rebirth stuff of 11.
Right.
That put it all together for me. So Vecna, the antagonist, his whole goal is to murder these 4 people, which will open
Which
a
are, by the
portal.
way, ritual sacrifice.
Literally.
They're open about it being a sacrifice.
It is a ritual sacrifice.
And he traumatizes them first.
Yep.
He torments them and haunts them like in a nightmare type.
Because the trauma is what opens the portals.
Yes.
We also learned that from
Stranger Things.
From this season.
Yeah, that's some deep shit.
Y'all know Vecna's a boy?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like before he's Vecna, he's
Dude,
Henry?
we've seen the show.
Okay.
Bruh, come on. What the fuck was that, Alex?
I don't know, man. I just found out because now I'm reading about it.
Yeah, you should watch the show. You should watch the Hey, Ryan.
Because I'm like,
hey,
I love you, bro.
Hey, Alex, did you know that 11 has psychic powers?
Wait, is she the one with
go
the
easy on
shaved
him.
head?
Go easy on him.
Is he the one with the shaved head?
I know. Okay,
that was funny, Alex. I'm sorry, but that was funny.
So you're welcome, man. I like to keep it fun.
Oh my god, that was great.
Because the Mind Flayer was nobody before he was the Mind Flayer.
But that's why season 4 is so good too. It really,
well, you find out where the Mind Flayer comes from too in season 4.
It shows it all. It's
Did you
super
know he
sick.
was a boy?
No.
According to this
joshing you.
fandom website, his initial form was a orange cloud, and his spider form is a spider.
Whoa, dude.
Crazy.
So that's the thing. There is going to be a season 5, by the way.
Did you know
That's
he
the
was
last
a
season.
cloud before he was a spider?
Yeah, dude.
Did you know he was a boy before he was a cloud before he was a spider?
Alex, it shows that in season 4.
Okay.
It
I
shows,
mean, I would
Yeah.
hope
I know
so.
you haven't seen it, but
I gotta finish this story. People are gonna get
Please
so
do,
mad
please
at us.
do,
People are
please
gonna
do.
get so mad. Okay, opens the portal. Blah blah blah. Whatever. They're in the upside down because Vecna drags the 4th victim. I don't have to say who it is.
right,
Drags
definitely
the
don't.
4th victim into the upside down to finally make this final sacrifice and open the portal. 11 finds a way to literally fucking astral project herself.
Like Star Wars, by the
Like
way.
Star
Like
Wars.
Luke Skywalker.
So cool.
Yeah.
Into the upside down to stop Vecna. Well, it kind of fails. And she literally gets strung up because Vecna like controls the entire upside down. They explain it as a hive mind, and like Vecna is the nucleus basically. He like controls it all.
Yeah.
And so he like makes these tentacles literally tie 11 up in a cross.
Yeah, like she's on a cross.
She is straight up strung up on a cross. But if that's not enough, the exact spot that he decides to string her up in a cross is a stained glass window with a rose in the middle, and her head is directly in front of the rose.
The rose cross.
The rose is creating a crown of thorns around her head, and the rose cross is the symbol of Rosicrucianism.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that shit was so blatant.
Now, do you know what the rose cross represents?
I do, but you explain. I've been
Okay.
talking too much.
No, not at all, dude. I'm loving it.
No,
it's
go,
good
go.
shit. So the rose cross.
Did you know that he was a boy?
So
Alex, I'm sorry, but that was really funny, man.
No, I know. I'm
That
hilarious.
was so funny.
I know I'm hilarious.
No, so he had to have been one of the other kids.
I'm gonna explain
Involved
that.
in the
I'm
project.
gonna
How
explain.
about-
I'm gonna
oh,
go
you-
into
okay,
that
he's
because
gonna
I
go
have
there.
another.
He gets upset.
No,
dude.
Trust me, I'm gonna go into that. I was
Right.
waiting for Nick to wrap up the rose cross thing. Now, to be clear here, at that scene, that's literally the last episode. I was so like, oh my god!
Yeah, I was borderline-
I wasn't looking for that anymore. That went over my head.
I had PTSD from the last episode of Game of Thrones. I had a hardcore panic attack watching the last episode of Game of Thrones, but I couldn't stop watching. So I was literally pacing back and forth in the living room like, and I felt very similar watching the last episode of Stranger
Dude,
Things.
it was
Sorry,
so
go
it was
ahead.
so good. No, but so like what the Rose Cross actually represents makes me curious if the Duffer Brothers are Rosicrucians. Which again, for anybody out there on the internet who knows about the Freemasons and all this shit, Rosicrucians are not the same vibe. It is a very educational secret society that is strictly focused on teaching the mysteries. They're a lot more loose about what you can and can't say. It's not like Freemasons where you sign this oath that says like your guts will be strung out and you'll be murdered and, and they actually say that.
I know,
in their
yeah,
oaths.
it's pretty wild.
And obviously it's just tradition. But Rosicrucians literally, you get into it and it's all about here are the mysteries, here's the secrets of Jesus and consciousness, here's what it all means. Take what you want. This is real shit. We come from the lineage of ancient Egypt and Pythagoras and shit. Like, you can take it or leave it. It makes me think the Duffer Brothers may actually be Rosicrucians. But anyway.
Or at least are interested, you know?
Yeah. So what the symbol of the Rose Cross means from the Rosicrucians is because they have a lot of documents that are publicly available online that you can read, and it's like here's some lessons. If you're interested in us and you'd like to know more, sign up.
I've read
whatever.
a lot of it.
Yeah, it's super cool shit. And what it means is the cross, the true meaning of the cross in every variation ever. I don't care what the fuck you think it means concerning Jesus. The cross is way older than that. And again, we have the dumbass fucking Vatican who took Jesus, this man that they slaughtered, and they said, you know what? We're going to slaughter this poor guy who was waking up thousands of people in real life. Like if we're thinking about what really happened, they slaughtered this dude who was like literally just trying to bring peace and initiate the world and mankind into the mysteries of consciousness. They fucking slaughtered him, and then they took his this idea and they totally morphed it. But what the cross actually means is you could look at it out of the box like longitude and latitude. You have one going up and one going left and right. But then you could also look at it in another layer. The one going up is the ascension to spirit.
Consciousness
Ascending to spirit. But the one going horizontal,
the material world.
It's the material world, and it's the bridge. We are a cross. The human being is a cross. We even can stand like one, you know? And like 11 was shown like one. Think real out of the box. This is mystical shit, you know? We are the hybrid between spirit and matter. We have this spiritual consciousness that is also animating this body of matter. But what the rose represents is consciousness unfolding, the 7 chakras unfolding, blooming, like in the East they would call it lotus petals, in the West it's the rose. Your chakras are blooming and unfolding, and you're realizing that Christ-like potential over many lives. That's what it means, and they showed that ritually with 11. This whole season was, I agree with you, it was the symbolic death and rebirth of 11 as this Christ-like hero figure, which was fucking awesome.
So cool.
So, you know, like Jesus, right? Dies and is resurrected.
You know he was a boy?
Well, damn it, Nick. I was going to say before he was resurrected, he was a boy.
And we all know he was buff, just saying.
He was
we
a boy.
do know he was buff.
He was buff.
He was
He definitely had that Chris
shredded.
Hemsworth body.
And
all
the
natty
lights.
No, natty.
Natty lights.
All natural.
He wasn't natty, dude. He had the crystal steroids going into his veins. Jesus obviously had the crystal steroids.
Okay, do you think Jesus did drugs?
For
No.
sure.
Drugs?
Yes.
They didn't even have drugs.
Yes, they did.
They had like potions and shit with psychedelic
They had
properties.
mushrooms.
Yeah, but I don't consider that like drugs. I'm thinking, when I
Okay,
hear the
well,
word drug, I
then
think
let
like
me
heroin,
rephrase the
cocaine.
question.
I don't like the word drug. It's very evil to me. I have
All right, my
I've had
apologies,
family
Ryan.
members die. No, I don't mean it like that. When I say the word drug, I'm thinking heroin, cocaine,
Oh, no,
meth.
man,
I have a
no.
different view of drugs than most people. I've lost family to drugs, you know? So,
Nah, I think Jesus was definitely doing ayahuasca and shrooms and shit like that for sure, bro.
yeah, for sure.
New Jesus meme
Absolutely.
dropping.
Oh, let's go.
Well,
Get
dude,
to it,
I mean,
Patreon
when
members.
when you get into the higher levels of the mysteries and shamanism and shit like that, like, yeah, they explore those kinds of things. I know that for a fact. I mean, talking with people in CIA and Project Stargate, and some of the things they did to elevate their consciousness was ayahuasca. Bro, we have people trying to get my family to fly out to South America to do ayahuasca shamanic trips in the jungle to see if it'll open us up. But I told them I won't leave my wife for 3 weeks. I don't care. I don't care if the
Yeah.
president himself asked me.
Nah.
I'm not leaving my wife for
Nah,
3 weeks.
that's
I don't
lame.
give a fuck.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah.
lame.
No, I mean, it's cool, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, for sure. Jesus probably popped mushrooms a time or two. I'm not just being funny. Like, there's real theories about that.
Well, I believe
There are real theories about that.
I truly, actually, like, pretty much 100% believe in the stoned ape theory, which is that, like,
It makes a lot of sense.
yeah, that
It makes
like,
a lot of
like
sense.
pre-hominid, like, kind of the precursor to humanity.
They found mushrooms.
They found mushrooms, they ate them, and it like catapulted their consciousness, because there is like I guess there's a time frame where there was a rapid increase in the evolution of human consciousness.
Yeah.
And there are those that argue it could be because like that was when humans discovered fire, or you know, hominids discovered fire, or like created the wheel, and then it just whatever. But I mean, it was a rapid.
It was what, about 11,000 years ago or something like that? 10,000 years ago.
Yeah. In my humble opinion, I choose to put most of my eggs in that basket. That
It makes sense, dude. It makes a lot of sense. You have this precursor civilization. They find mushrooms. It starts causing them to access deeper levels of their mind, and they get smarter and smarter and smarter, and the human body will always evolve to reflect the level and powers and abilities of consciousness. It's
and if you've ever done mushrooms, you know, it opens you right on up. It opens you. It makes you see the world completely.
But use
different.
responsibly, kids.
Of course, this is not something to play around with.
Adults also don't think you're a cowboy badass and think you can just do whatever you want. Don't
Do your research.
be humble.
Do your research.
Be humble.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Be
Sit
humble.
the fuck down and be humble.
So it just kind of, going off of that theory, it just makes me think like how the earth is the provider, and is it some sort of predestiny where you have this pre-human species, but like fungi has been part of the earth and is a key part of the earth that was always there. And it's like these mushrooms are just sitting there waiting. And these, and it's like, was it all supposed to happen that way? Like,
hell yeah.
I think so.
You know
man.
what I mean? Like,
I think so.
I would agree with that, Alex.
Sends me on
I'm
a
telling
weird...
you, bro, when you dive into shamanism, which is the oldest spiritual system according to mankind. I'm not talking religion. I'm talking about spiritual system, either animism or shamanism. And they have these levels of understanding that the deeper you get into the plant medicine, the deeper you become connected to the mother or consciousness or the spirit world or nature. And literally, it's cannabis, psilocybin, DMT, or you could say ayahuasca.
It's the earth. It's like
It's
the
the
earth
earth.
is the breadbasket, and the more
It's
that
the
you
mother.
get into the mother and the earth, like, more
become
you
more
make it part of
connected to
yourself.
it. Yeah.
Right.
And
I like that. The
which
earth
then-
is the breadbasket.
And I'm telling the world, Ryan Bledsoe is telling the fucking world, the CIA does ayahuasca. Just saying. I'm telling you, I have been told this. This shit is real. Take me serious. You feel me?
And before
That was
You feel him?
That was whistleblower, Ryan.
You feel him or not?
Yeah, I have been told by CIA agents that they go out to these trips and they do ayahuasca, they blast it hundreds of times, and they come back and they do psychic remote viewing, pew 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 11 type shit.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew. They're doing shit with their brains. This shit is real. If you think if you just want to close your eyes and your ears to this, I don't know what to tell you, bro. But it's real.
Pop off.
Pop off. That was
but I stole that breadbasket.
I get heated.
from-
I get passionate about that when because like I'm literally whistleblowing shit. Don't take it lightly. I'm putting my soul on the line here to tell the world some shit that was confided to me in private by the Central Intelligence Agency. It's a big deal. I'm very heated about that shit. Anyway,
You are? I can't tell.
very heated about that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Alex? I'm sorry.
Breadbasket thing?
No, man, no worries.
No, I just
No
felt
worries.
like I had to go on a rant.
Yeah,
but-
it's all cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. I found a map, but it's
Lucifer.
basically
Let's talk.
like
Go ahead.
Whoa. Whoa, wait, what?
It's gonna go somewhere.
I know, I'm
It's
playing.
gonna go somewhere.
I'm playing.
no, just the breadbasket of the world, which I believe is north of Egypt in like Mesopotamia, where like life started
Civilization.
and
Yeah.
people started leaving.
Yeah, like the
from
cradle
there.
of civilization. yeah.
Right. It's called like the breadbasket or something like that.
They call it the cradle, I'm sure.
Is that
Yeah.
where
The
the
cradle of
Is
civilization.
that where like the Garden of Eden is supposed
I mean,
to have
who
been?
could
Maybe.
ever know, man?
Yeah,
But
no,
anyway,
honestly-
Satan, take it away, Ryan.
No, I didn't say Satan.
Lucifer.
I said Lucifer.
My
and,
apologies.
and, a Christian would say they're the same thing, but they're not. They are absolutely not. Lucifer is a figure. If you get into the esotericism, you realize that the especially like in Kabbalah, this is prevalent. You have these two paths that the human soul can aspire to be, and on the light side, you have Christ. The ascension, like the hero. You could think about it loosely, like Thor or Krishna, or these. There's these other
Buddha?
limited. Yeah, or like Buddha. You have this understanding that your soul is destined, or at least has the ability to ascend to be its best form. And I don't necessarily mean in this life. I mean over many lives. And if you figured out that secret, then it's like, okay, in this lifetime, you can try to reach that.
Yeah, your soul / your consciousness is much longer than your life.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely ignorant, I feel, to believe that, I was born by accident. Maybe I was born in the ghetto. Maybe I was born in some indigenous tribe in South America. I'd never get to hear all this mystical shit. But yeah, this is the only chance I'll ever get. And I might even live to 22 and die in a car wreck. And if I didn't get it right, well, I'm going to hell forever.
Yeah.
Stupid. Stupid.
Yeah.
It's a lie, actually. It's actually a lie.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did a whole episode about that, not here nor there. I get heated about that too. I've wondered that my entire
That's
life.
probably the thing I get most heated about is the hell stuff.
I wondered that since I was a child, and then finally got initiated into the mysteries and started seeing the beings and started putting reincarnation in my dad's head and shit. And it all made sense to me. It all made sense. Reincarnation is the answer, blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
Jaden Smith, reincarnation's the model.
it's the model.
Man, you're hot this episode.
I just get heated
you're
about
hot,
certain
bro.
things, man.
Ryan's hot every episode, okay?
I'm a hot boy. Crystal
He's a hot boy.
boys.
Hot boys.
Yeah, dude, it's time to start lifting up crystal boys too, because crystal girls are hot. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Not as hot as Ryan.
Yeah.
on this episode.
Damn,
Dude,
dude.
I'm feeling some tension between y'all.
Damn, dude.
Do I need to leave? Is
No,
this-
you
I
stay
want
right
you to
there.
stay.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
master.
I have been told in the past that my hair reminds people of waves, which
Stop,
I
stop.
know you like to serve.
Stop. The tension is too much. It's palpable. I feel it in the air, guys. Alex is like, I want to ride them waves.
Anyway, I don't even remember where the fuck I started.
Lucifer.
Oh, Lucifer. Yeah, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, Lucifer. Yo, I've had a lot of caffeine today. So Lucifer is the opposite of Christ.
Okay.
It's not the same as Satan. Lucifer is not the same figure of Satan. They're not even mentioned in the same context throughout the Bible, but everyone just has this belief, oh, Lucifer, Satan, it's the same thing. So think of this. Think we're looking at Stranger Things season 4 from a Gnostic point of view, or rather from a point of view of someone who is initiated into the esoteric mysteries. And what you have is this storyline going out, and it's like the main storyline pretty much of 11. And we're literally, in some meta way, we are watching her childhood memories play out. Imagine she's this Christ figure, right? And what we have is Vecna is the Lucifer figure. Because while she's a child, he's coming to her and tempting her, and he's literally...
As a boy. He
is a boy.
Yeah.
But also it's just cool because he's symbolically like he's wearing white, and maybe this has nothing to do with it, but these are just details I noticed. He has this like hyper blonde hair, hyper bright blue eyes.
Yeah.
He just reminds me of this kind of like dark, tempting being who appears as this
Beautiful
being of light,
Yeah.
kind of like Lucifer's described.
He's got pretty wavy
He's a
hair.
pretty boy with the wavy hair and the bright blue eyes, and he's wearing all white. And when he comes to 11, he speaks with this very silver tongue, and he whispers things in her ear, and she's a young child, and he tempts her. And like, if you remember, one of the earliest encounters he says to her is, do you think that maybe you have a memory that makes you very sad or very angry? You could potentially gain power if you would just focus on those memories.
Literally the Sith.
The Sith.
Well, that's how she operated in like the first season.
Yes.
Right, but
Yeah.
Because that's how the kids were taught to operate. Possibly the coolest spoiler of season 4.
Well, nah, bro. Remember, Papa told them when they were going to go do the battle with their minds, he said, do not let any emotion enter your mind or you will fail.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
But the guy was poisoning 11.
Uh-huh.
Bring emotion into it.
The boy.
God,
boy.
that's the name of the episode. The boy.
But what were you going to say, though?
Possibly the coolest spoiler. Since we're already spoiling everything. You listen to this, Alex. The Vecna, the guy, the main antagonist, he is number 1.
Yeah.
He's the first. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to end up there, too. But
he's the first one. And he literally has the tattoo 001.
So
It's crazy, dude.
follow me here. So he's poisoning 11
I'll
from...
follow you anywhere, Ryan.
Oh my god! I feel so.
I can't say that I hate the attention.
I'll be right back. Let me get my surfboard.
Surfboard, quote unquote.
So he's poisoning her from a young age, and he's putting the shit in her ear, and he's kind of teaching her like Palpatine and Anakin. He's showing her the seduction of the dark side, and then
Literally.
she goes into this room. You'll see it in the show. He makes them battle each other psychically, and there's this one kid who's a bully, and he's much older than all the other young little kids. If the character 11 is like 11 or 12 years old, this kid is probably like 17. He's much older, much bigger. He's a douche, and he bullies the other little kids. 11 kicks his ass using the knowledge that she learned from number 1, Henry. You don't know he's number 1 until like
The last episode.
He was number 1.
Hey, oh my God.
number 1.
Schmitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen.
Yo, this is crazy. We got like Pokemon, D&D,
SpongeBob.
Star Wars, SpongeBob, Stranger Things. We got a lot of references.
And lots of ADHD rants. This is a legacy episode of Bledsoe.
Yo, we can't even be ashamed about that anymore because like we're a year in and the show has achieved more success than we can ever imagine.
I'm
And
not ashamed about it
I think
at
it's
all.
time to put that to rest and embrace our power.
Oh, yeah. That's our superpower is being ADHD.
Fuck yeah, bro. Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief. You ever read them?
No.
Good books. When he was a little kid,
I want to read them.
You find out he's the son of Poseidon, and he's like this obviously super powerful almighty demigod, but he starts off as this ordinary kid raised by his human mother, and when he goes to school, he was diagnosed with ADHD, and he has problems, and blah, blah, blah. It turns out that's because he's half God, and he's tuned into this other reality. And I think there's something to that, for sure. You find out geniuses all over the world tend to have some sort of, abilities and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so he's tempting 11. She takes the knowledge he teaches her. She totally dominates and just decimates this guy. And then throughout the season, he's poisoning her with this more knowledge. And what he's doing is just like the Gnostic myth. He tends to be this Luciferic, rebellious figure who is, although he has evil intentions, he kind of also brings her the fruit of knowledge that she's stuck in a prison. And this Lucifer figure, ironically, he does a very good thing as well of breaking Eleven's mind free of the prison that she's trapped in. And he causes her to rebel as well and be empowered to escape from Papa and the whole.
It was very Luciferian. I didn't pick up on
the Gnostic myth
because he wants to free her so that she will help him.
But his intentions are bad.
Exactly.
But he still empowers her to break free from her matrix reality that she's living in.
Think
about it loosely.
It's a typical trope. Like, he thinks that by freeing her mind, she will be like-minded with him and share the same aspirations and whatever. Like, we're alone in this world. We're two of a kind, and everybody else doesn't understand us. But 11 relieving her trauma and becoming the Christ consciousness. Essentially, she's like, "No, this is fucked up, and I'm gonna beat your ass."
And then it also shows.
Does it go? Is this like taking? Like, does this happen in flashbacks?
A lot of it.
Go back in time. Okay, yeah, that's what I want.
Because remember, it shows her memory from years.
Because you said break free, and I'm like, that's season 1,
right?
Yeah, this is right before season 1.
Okay, yeah,
it shows her leading up to breaking out of that institution in season 1, which is where it begins.
Yeah. I feel bad for everybody who hadn't watched it.
Well, we gave them
and continued to listen
because that's their choice.
Yeah, I'm really digging in here.
That's their choice.
I feel like I've watched it.
Yeah.
No,
did you know he was a boy?
That's one of the funniest things you've ever said, man. You looked it up. I guess in your mind, in that split-second decision, like maybe you didn't consider that, like, that's not some theory, and it just openly shows that in the show. I don't know.
I don't know what possessed me to say that.
That was funny.
I felt like I needed to sell the fact that I hadn't seen it. So.
But yeah, so then he also plays the satanic adversary figure where he tempts her to join him and have this power. Like, who does that sound like? Jesus in the desert.
Oh my God. I just realized, remember the scene? Holy shit, this is crazy. You remember the scene where it shows him like flying through the upside down and being transformed
like
into
hell.
Vecna? Dude, he's literally like being transformed from Lucifer to Satan.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
It literally shows him like being catapulted through
and transforming
the upside down and lightning hitting him and like flaying his flesh, and he's like becoming a monster like it's lit, and he's like, oh my God. I was thinking when he's flying through with his like beautiful hair blowing around in the wind and shit, like it's very like beautiful.
It's true. He's not exaggerating.
It's very like pretty
and cinematic,
and it looks like an old like Michelangelo painting.
A little bit, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very religious kind of. Yeah, I
didn't really pick that up until
like
now.
Hell.
It's
just like he's flying through hell. Yeah,
exactly.
And dude, it's crazy, and also
that's wild.
There's many layers.
Yeah,
we got to talk about this real quick.
Okay.
I know we got to wrap up soon, but let me just go on another little.
Where are we at on time?
We're close to the end here, but it's okay. I got to get this thought out because this is so fucking cool. So, little Easter egg. The character that Vecna first tormented. Obviously, you find out he's number 1. I don't want to spoil too much, but I don't want to spoil too much here. I'm going to save some of the surprise. No, it's okay. Open your ears. I'm not going to go into crazy detail. But the first character that Vecna torments is a man in the 1950s by the name of Victor Creel. The world around him believes he's a serial killer because remember, Vecna's a psychic entity from the upside down, and when he kills people, no one sees him or any evidence of him. People are just mangled. They are just totally mutilated. Their eyes are popped
Explode out of their head.
limbs are broken into all different directions. It looks like a horrific satanic sacrifice. That's why the whole satanic panic thing comes into the, like, these people are brutally slaughtered.
Yeah. It's the goriest that Stranger Things has ever been.
Right. It's straight up like a horror. It's amazing. And the first victim that Vecna terrorizes is this man, Victor Creel. His family is slaughtered. Again, there's some surprises there that I'm going to leave for you to be surprised by. But anyway, so long story short, the character Victor Creel is played by the real-life actor Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger.
No way!
Yes.
I see it now. Immediately, as soon as you said that, that's him.
And think about it. Vecna is 100%, obviously, from the Lucifer and Satanic thing. He's 100% an homage to Freddy Krueger.
I was thinking
he torments you in nightmares.
I was thinking that the whole time watching the season. I was like, he's like Freddy Krueger. Casey even said that at one point.
The actor is Freddy Krueger.
That's so cool.
Old man Victor Creel.
I see it now. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, bro.
They
went
tidbit.
all out for this season. They also made heavy references to Michael Myers at some point. Like,
dude, one of the characters wears a Michael Myers mask.
Yeah, in one of the seasons, 100%.
Remember they were sneaking to go steal that RV, and they were like, "Do you have a mask?"
Yeah, Eddie wore a Michael Myers mask.
They were like, "Do you have a mask?" And then the next scene, it shows him wearing a Michael Myers mask.
I forgot about that because earlier in the show, they were talking to Eddie's uncle.
Right.
Who, because it was at his trailer,
Yeah.
the first modern sacrifice that happened, obviously, you know that.
Yeah.
And then he was talking to Nancy, who was trying to get the story.
Yeah.
And he said, he explained about Victor Creel. This has happened in the 50s, and it's kind of like a revelatory moment for the viewer. And he said, yeah, he reminds me of that character in the movie with the white mask. What do they call him?
Yes.
Michael Myers. Yeah.
So, another cool thing, I don't know if you picked up on, but you know that each of the kids is a D&D class, right?
No, I never thought about that. Like, what do you mean?
Like Will the Wise.
He's a wizard.
He's a wizard. Dustin is literally like the intelligence-based character. Like they all actually fit into the roles that they play in D&D. Like Lucas,
especially season 4.
Yeah, like Lucas is the heavy. Lucas is like the heavy.
Oh, when he gets into the fist fight. Yo.
He gets into the fist fight, and in season 3, the heavy class, like the berserker class, it's all like big buff hand-to-hand combat, but also
sick. I'm getting chills.
Explosives and fire. Dude, season 3, the rockets were his idea.
I don't remember that detail about
he was like, well, because 11 didn't have her powers, and he's like, well, we got to find some way. Fire. Like, how do we get a bunch of fire? They're in the mall. They're like, let's go take all the fireworks.
Right.
And then he starts throwing the fireworks at the dude.
I remember that.
They all fit. And then Mike is like the valiant leader. He's the heart.
In season 4,
he's the heart. He's the valiant leader. He's like the Steven Universe. He's like the Naruto. His role is to talk and
motivate.
He's like the cleric. He's like the paladin. He heals, he motivates, like literally the moves, the abilities that the paladin or the cleric uses are like rallying cry. That's actually a move in D&D. Rallying cry. He hypes everybody up.
Very overt about that in season 4 too.
Super overt.
This is not subtle. I didn't connect that dot, but
they all literally like play a class in D&D.
Literally in season 4, Will paints this epic, huge like tapestry of the kids as D&D characters
fighting
like,
a dragon,
slaying a dragon, and he draws Mike as this epic knight because Mike has this whole struggle. This whole struggle. His girlfriend is obviously 11 at this point, and she's like the superhero, and Mike has this internal crisis, like, but I'm nobody.
Like she doesn't need me anymore.
She doesn't need me. It's a whole plot point between the two characters, and Will paints this epic painting of Mike being this knight clad in armor.
He's a paladin. I just realized he's literally a paladin.
And he paints a red heart on him, and he's leading 11 and all the other kids. And he's like, "You're the heart, Mike. You're the heart."
Yeah.
And then that comes back later, and Mike kind of like pushes 11 to be stronger. It's cool, but yeah, there's something to that for sure.
They're all like the classes in D&D. It's so epic.
Dude, I could go on and on and on about Stranger Things. We got to wrap up.
Is it? We're at an hour? Okay.
We're out of time.
One last thing. Theory. Season 5.
Oh, dude, this is
Eddie.
He told me this last night. This is crazy.
So, oh my God, I don't want to spoil it for Alex. Plug your ears for this one.
Yeah, dude, really don't.
Plug your ears.
No, because he's going to hear it in the episode.
No, he won't. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to talk quiet so that Alex can't hear me very well.
Yeah,
do some la-las or something, Alex. Okay. So anyway, Eddie in season 5 is going to come back as Vecna's right-hand man. In D&D lore, Vecna's right-hand man is he's like a lord of bats. He's killed by bats. He's resurrected by bats. And he tries to defeat Vecna. They become homies, and then he's his right-hand man. Where did Eddie, spoiler alert, die? In the Upside Down.
By bats.
By bats. All right, that's
Vecna's
it. He also has tattoos of bats on his arm. Yeah, Vecna's bats.
Super cool.
Okay.
Fucking master of puppets.
Oh, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
God.
And the actor
He
actually
really
played
played
it.
that.
He played it.
He really played that. In interviews, he said, "Yeah." They asked him, "Did you really play that?" And he was humble about it. He said, "Yeah, I mean, I've been playing a guitar since I was a child, and I had the foundation, and I really played it."
Y'all seen this show? Y'all know I own 3 hats, and one of them is a Metallica hat.
Yeah,
I could not have been more hyped during that scene. Is this motherfucker about to play Metallica in hell?
It was sick.
It was the coolest shit I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Last comment. Let us know. The 3 of us have been discussing this with some mutual friends of ours. We don't have the time currently, but we were like big future plans. We really have considered putting out like D&D campaigns online. Nick is super into Critical Role. I always have been very generally interested in D&D. I used to play in middle school with my brothers and my cousins.
I also have been working on a custom world and campaign that may or may not be based on somebody that you know.
See, I don't know this. I don't know all this detail.
It's very, let's just say it's very Bledsoe Said So inspired.
Hell yeah, bro.
And it'll be cool. So if you guys would be interested,
just let us know if you would like to see us do some sort of public D&D campaign, because we're super interested in that.
Probably like sometime next year or something. If there's anybody out there that thinks that'd be dope, we'll probably stream it on Twitch or something. Could be cool.
That's all I got. Love you, homies.
Love you, homies.
You're our heart. You're our soul. Year 2. We're kicking it up.
Woo!
Check out BledsoeSetso.com. Got some cool shit on there.
Hats.
Hit him with the BG.
BJ. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other videos.
And before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you next week. Peace.